high, but I think again, being a new fight for 4 years, I'm happy for my performance today.
They already know who's the one that signed, who's the one they want to promote. So there's a lot of times where those young fighters get away with wins that maybe should have gone the other way, or maybe a draw, but they should give them the win. These judges throw them in jail if they don't give it to them right now because they won. And when I watched, I felt he won too.
Manny Pacquiao has voiced strong frustration in a new interview, saying he clearly won 8 rounds to 4 against Mario Barrios. He expressed disbelief at the judge's decision, calling it a robbery. Legendary trainer Freddie Roach backed him up, stating they both believe Manny won the fight. Roach also added that he wants a rematch between Manny and Barrios as soon as possible to settle the controversy.
We had a great fight. Manny fought very well, and he even had a knockout in there from but I thought he was going to fight 8-4, but after he's low, and we would like a rematch right away.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia gave a bold and honest take on Manny Pacquiao's controversial draw with Mario Barrios. He emphasized that professional boxing has become more of a business than a sport, and that financial investments often influence decisions. Garcia pointed out that the industry tends to protect younger fighters like Barrios, who represent future profitability. In his view, Manny winning at age 46 provides no long-term value to promoters.
Okay, and the next thing is that Duarte in Chicago. Duarte's looking amazing. Chopped up in Art Barrera in San Francisco, and then we got like 3 guys in Texas. Very busy. Yeah.
So Robert, so much to talk to you about. I don't know where to start. So first of all, why do they keep robbing Manny Pacquiao? He got robbed against Bradley.
But I heard from everybody that he got robbed.
You trust Paulie Malignaggi. He said they robbed Pacquiao.
You know what?
He got robbed with the
It's actually weird, because you see, like the way boxing is, the business is. I'm not saying promoters, because it's the same thing with the business where you want, like, when you have that one fighter that, like, when you have a young prospect that are trying to, like, managers, judges and commissioners, they already know who's the one that signed, who's the one they want to promote. So there's a lot of times where those young fighters get away with wins that maybe should have gone the other way, or maybe a draw, but they should give them the win.
The fight was extremely close, and since Barrios didn't perform dominantly enough to earn a clean victory, the promoters couldn't give him the win. But they also weren't willing to let him lose to an older legend, so a draw became the safe political outcome.
Him and Mayweather. Him and Rolly. Rolly's a big fight.
Huge fight. And if that fight was close enough, even if Manny was losing by give it to Manny. Give it to Manny.
He wasn't losing though.
That one was weird for them to give it a draw.
Well, the only reason I think it's crazy is the total conspiracy, Pita. The whole world, Manny's so popular, everybody bets on Manny. And the return was great money. So if Manny wins, it's going to cost the casino so much money. But that's a conspiracy, and I don't believe that.
Boxing analysts have widely agreed that Manny Pacquiao outperformed expectations, especially against a younger and more physically prime opponent. Many observers noticed that Barrios lacked urgency and failed to bring charisma or aggression to the match. Some rounds were clearly passive from Barrios, while Manny stayed active and pressed forward. Analysts believe that a closer review of several rounds shows that Manny should have edged them, given that Barrios simply wasn't doing enough.
Pacquiao did better than I thought he did, and that's like, you get into that weird territory in boxing where you're sort of grading on a curve. That's not how boxing works. I was like, oh, Pacquiao's doing better. He's probably winning. Oh, he won. But no, he probably didn't. And a draw is probably lucky to get a draw.
Yeah, as I was watching and scoring it, and I was in the live chat with people, and there were just so many rabid Pacquiao fans. Every time he did anything, first of all, anytime he did anything in the arena, the place was absolutely bonkers. Like it was going to tear down. He probably fought 50 to 60 seconds around. He did not do much. He didn't need to, because Barrios didn't step on the gas pedal at all at any point. He was so listless and just kind of like ho-humming through it. So Pacquiao was able to steal moments, and he did a really good job of stealing the end arounds and making an exclamation point. And also, we saw flashes of the Manny of old when he would have that little like the flourishing signature on the end of something. He'd make that little movement, bang, he'd pop that left hand, he'd fly out, boom, 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 boom. He'd make those little moves, he'd do the fancy feet.
The lack of ring presence and energy from Barrios compared to Pacquiao's calculated output raised major questions about how the scorecards favored a younger fighter or even declared the match even. This wasn't just another fight for Manny Pacquiao. Had he been given the win, it would have placed him in the history books alongside the likes of George Foreman, who made his own legendary comeback late in his career. At 46 years old, Manny came in as the underdog, yet gave a performance that amazed fans and shocked critics. His movement, energy, and heart reminded the world of his prime years. A victory would have been monumental not only for Manny but for boxing itself, a true story of longevity, grit, and greatness. Unfortunately, that moment was taken away, leaving fans robbed of witnessing a potential legacy-defining triumph.
Here, bro, you got robbed last night. And shit, I got robbed last night. We both in the same boat. Last night, Manny Pacquiao got back in the ring, fresh off retirement, tried to take the belt from Mario Barrios. He's 46, bro. And he was putting belt to ass the whole fight. The draw is crazy. It's absurd. The draw is wild. That's bad business. If Manny Pacquiao won last night, we would have witnessed history. He would have been the oldest welterweight champion ever. And coming fresh off retirement, the first Hall of Famer to come back and grab the title. He's different. Last night, Manny Pacquiao proved, he won the one. Ain't nobody like Manny Pacquiao. Pac-Man is truth for real. You can't tell me Pac-Man lost that fight. I'm not going for it. That's cooked. I'm not hearing it. 46. We got robbed, man. Simple and plain. Pac-Man deserved that fight. This draw is bad business.
One of the most inspiring aspects of this fight was Pacquiao's self-belief. Despite being 46, he entered the ring with full confidence in his abilities. He didn't just survive the rounds, he competed. From footwork to speed and accurate punching, Manny proved he could still fight at a world-class level. Yet, what he deserved was not delivered by the judges. Many believe he did enough to win the bout, but the decision failed to reflect the effort and performance he displayed inside the ring. It's a painful example of how age and politics can sometimes outweigh fairness in boxing.
Most surprised by the result from last night was 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao going 4 rounds and drawing against the WBC champion. And the craziest part of all of it might be that Manny Pacquiao might have been wrong. I generally think that Manny Pacquiao might have won the fight. He looked great, he looked sharp, especially from a 46-year-old. And this is why I told you guys that Manny Pacquiao's mentality is different. His passion for boxing is unmatched. This is why he's one of the GOATs. From what we saw, we can see that he really put in a lot of work. Because in his last fight, I believe it was 5 years ago, he didn't look good. He looked low. He looked like a 46-year-old or a 40-year-old because he was 40 years old back then. But he didn't look good. But he looked great. I feel if the rematch happens against Mayweather, which would honestly be an amazing fight because they're both old now, so they don't have any excuse to be like, oh, this guy's past his prime. They're both past his prime. They're both old. But if it happens, I think Manny Pacquiao wins. Floyd Mayweather hasn't fought, and he doesn't have the same amount of passion. He fought Logan Paul and Deji, but this guy fought an actual WBC champion and looked great. He could have possibly beat him. He said he's not going to stop boxing, and he honestly has no reason why to stop. Now, obviously, I don't think he's like a top 10 boxer right now, or currently whatever, but he can hold his own. If he went against someone like Gervonta Davis, yes, he'd get murdered, but there's a lot of fighters that he can go toe-to-toe with. I don't know, awful for content about his time.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas offered a more balanced take, recognizing the emotional investment fans have in Manny Pacquiao. He acknowledged that Manny performed admirably and that the fight was indeed close. According to Atlas, what many fans perceive as a robbery may have been more about their personal hopes and nostalgia for Pacquiao rather than the fight itself. He argued that when viewed from a strictly technical perspective, the judge's call wasn't outrageous. Atlas acknowledged that the fight between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios was highly competitive and difficult to score. While many fans passionately believed Pacquiao had done enough to win, Atlas reminded viewers that emotions can cloud objective judgment. He pointed out that in sports, especially boxing, people often see what they hope to see rather than what actually happened. According to Atlas, the judges made a logical decision based on what they observed in the ring. Although it disappointed many, the outcome reflected the complexities of scoring a close and tactical fight.
to the sport, to everybody, and then your mind saying no. And then you have a low bar, like I said earlier, of expectation. Like at 46, you can't expect too much. You hope, because that's what we do. We're fans. We hope, we expect, and it's magic. People were hoping that with Ali fought home, even though it wasn't practice, even though it didn't make sense. But they were hoping that until reality plays home. And there was other things going on. Ali had a ton of toxic. He was giving him stuff that was bringing weight down. So meanwhile, he was causing all kinds of fire. He couldn't even get in the ring. But again, it was false hope. It was Muhammad Ali. It was the name. It was the history. It was everything he did in the past that made us think he could beat this young fighter, this young great heavyweight Barrios. And we were wrong. It was wrong. And so we were kind of put in between the same thing with this. Like, are we going to be wrong, or maybe this time we'll be right? When that happens, when a guy gives this spectacular performance at 46, the way my son just said that he did, and shows glimpses of the great glimpses here and there. When he does that, I think that the way we're programmed as human beings, we magnify what we saw. We automatically say, he won! He won! That's it! And I want all these judges thrown in jail. They don't give it to me. Right now! Because he won. And when I watched it, I felt he won too. But then, when I got home, my son said, watch it again. And I watched it again with him. It was a very, very close fight with a lot of close rounds. I don't have a problem. You want to give it to him, go ahead. But I don't have a problem. It was not the robbery some people are saying. There was a fight that happened that night that we'll talk about in a minute. That was a horrible robbery. It wasn't that one. It was not that one.
From the opening bell, Pacquiao stunned spectators with how sharp and relentless he looked. Most fans and analysts had expected him to fade after a few rounds or rely on cautious tactics, but he went toe-to-toe with Barrios. His timing was excellent, his counters were crisp, and his defense was calculated. This wasn't just a decent outing from a veteran fighter. It was a masterclass from someone many had already counted out. The sheer level of intensity and precision Manny displayed left people in disbelief, proving once again why he's a legend in the sport.